viewers what Islam has contributed to in terms of science and technology, and we hope to continue. And dear viewers, the essence of this program is to enlighten you about loving science as a discipline, not to shun it and you leave it to other denominations. We are part and parcel of this world, and we want to engage science and technology at a higher perspective. Now, we have run a number of shows. We started, so many months ago, and previously we started on the aspect of cyber security, and we have run a number of shows on cyber security, and today we hope to continue with this kind of series. I'm Menya Ayub Chibedi, your host this evening, and today in the studio I'm having your brother Hamza Sekalima, who is a lecturer at the University of IU. Allow me to invite him to say salam, then we shall commence our program.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us life and for giving us the inspiration to think about ourselves as Muslims, and to think of reminding others and ourselves about our various responsibilities. A person can be a Muslim, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may not grant them that favor of being able to think that they have a responsibility, one, to be good Muslims, and also to propagate, encourage others to follow in the millah of Nabina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Well, barakallahu fikum. With that intro, this edition of Monday, the 23rd, we are commencing, but just to give you a recap of some of the things that we have been able to tackle for the viewer who is new to this program, specifically on the aspect of cyber security. We have been able to cover the number of threats that people encounter when they are operating online, and we enumerated the number of them. And last week we were handling the issue of securing your email, because it is very essential, it is very basic for you to access many of the online platforms that you would wish to visit. So we are trying to give more details on how you can secure your email, just in case you wanted to to do visiting many platforms. It is usually a requirement that you submit your email. At times even they ask for passwords and like. So it becomes very imperative for you to secure that email, because there are a lot of crooks online. So it is something that should be very important to us. So last week we covered a number of aspects to secure the email, and I would implore you to go online, go to our Salam TV YouTube channel. You can be able to get what we covered in the previous programs. We can't repeat all. Today we allow us to continue from there by continuing how can we better secure our email, because it is very key for people who are doing any kind of online business or online work. So brother, I think you can start from there.
Last time we looked a bit about issues of password. Remember, it's not only email that we use online as a service. We primarily have a variety of platforms that we work with. So the username password principle remains the same across for all these platforms, and we saw things like try to have a complex password, and with the complex they prefer more in terms of length than the characters you are using, because some of us think complex should be a very queer characters, underscore words, things that end up now being very difficult for you to remember. Password advisors indicate that You simply keep the password long, even if it may not have very complicated characters. You can just put there something like an art or just one, then you maintain words. In that case, the longer the password, the harder it is to break as compared to keeping a short password with a complicated characters. So that is something you should maintain. Try to change the password, because if the person has social engineered his way into learning your password, they won't be able to keep that password working for a long period of time. So you need to keep changing from one to another. You can even reuse, but you don't maintain one for an extremely long time. But of course, given the challenge of waiting for an event to occur, you may find Ayuba has changed his password this week, he has changed the next week, but later he realizes that there's no one attacking me. So it's very easy to go off the rail, but these are general principles that we should be able to remember.
What I am afraid of is to continuously change the password and it locks me out. I can't even access.
A better way is to use password management apps. Now there are some apps that manage password, and it's better to use the one that does not store the passwords online, because there are some which store online, again a person cracks from the other side. So the better way is you use the one that stores on the machine. For Android users, there is an app called My Passwords. You should be able to get that app and you store the passwords. In that case, you don't have the very big obligation of having to remember. So the app is protected by a master password. That one you can keep, and since it's on your phone, you don't need to keep struggling with it because it's not online. Then there you can store as many as you want. It becomes easier for you to remember, because many times we keep simple passwords just because you also don't want one which will keep you forgetting and making resets. So that is something that you should keep in mind. And the other issue about being online is that once you are online, you are essentially in a public space. Just as we control ourselves physically, you can't, for example, go out there in a plaza where everyone is seeing and you begin easing yourself from there or doing anything that we do in our private spaces. So it means even when you're online, don't do things like taking photos that are very private in nature and you keep them on your phone. Because remember, the phone will connect to the internet, and most of these free service providers like Google, etc., they want to collect as many photos and any other information they can collect from you. So they need that information for their own AI tools and etc. So they provide you with something that would appear to be good. For example, everyone would want to be able to recover their photos after loss of phone. So you would want to see that issue of photos automatically uploaded to the Photos app as a positive thing. But in actual sense, it becomes a negative, because now people can be able to access those photos away from the phone where you are thinking you are securing them. So don't take private photos using that phone that is connected online, because in that case you are like just a person that has gone into a public space and is doing things like taking off a shirt. You don't do that. So don't rely on the passwords and etc. Those things have their own limitations. They can very easily be compromised. Once they are compromised, the floodgate will just open and anyone should be able to get to you. Then the other issue that you can secure in order to be safe online is the device itself that you are using. Remember, our phones do have a variety of tools. You have a PIN that you can use. Some have fingerprint readers. The majority actually do have that, and nowadays they are making even on-screen fingerprint readers. The technology has expanded, so put there that. Then some also have facial recognition. The only problem with the facial recognition platforms is that, okay, they are improving over time, but the challenge is that for them they can be fooled by pictures. It's an image recognition issue. Meaning, if I come and I put the picture of Ayub on my face and I point to a facial recognition device, if it's not well built, it will simply detect that this is Ayub, because it does an image scan. Same thing with the fingerprints. If a person is able to pick your fingerprints off a device that can collect fingerprints, for example, a glass. Usually when you touch a glass surface, your entire fingerprint remains there. So if a person has technical capacity to that image and put it onto their finger. The other one is an image recognition thing. It has nothing to do with the individual themselves. As long as I can get that here, I should be able to move forward. So you make
So
sure
as far as technology has advanced, these people who do forensic, I think it is what they are using. So meaning somebody can pick your fingerprint from wherever you've been able to touch. So uses that to...
Exactly. The other one is just an image. As long as I can have that image and I am able to imprint it on a surface where it can stay, then it should be able to move forward. So protect these devices that you are using all the tools that are available for you. Unfortunately for us, we tend to buy the gadgets, but we think that their usage is supposed to be by highly technical people. And the city were IT, not only were IT, but you are grabbing a highly IT device. And it has tools there to protect you, because the one who manufactures puts there these tools and thinks, okay, if a person can use these 3 tools, I think they will be safe. Kumbe the person is not even using any of the tools. They are not putting a pin, they are not putting fingerprint recognition, they are not putting facial recognition. None of the tools is available to them, and it becomes a bit of a problem. The other important thing is about updates.
I think before we leave that, I
Yes.
think what we can advise in general is that we should do, have multiple layers of security on the phone. So meaning that if somebody has been able to crack a level 1, should not maybe pass a level 2. If he passes level 2, maybe there is also level 3 and later.
And physical is layer 1. Make sure the phone is with you. But in case you don't have it physically, let it be protected by a pin, or let it be protected by... Now, the other issue about patterns as a protection, they appear to be easier to remember, but the problem with them is that a person can see you, since it involves drawing. Okay, there are some who make very queer and complicated patterns, but the wiser way is to use instead a pin. Because for it, you can tap it very fast, and it's not easy for a person to see that you are busy moving your finger around in order to create...
There are people who are smart at knowing where you are pressing your
fingers. You are
pressing. But of late, I think I've seen even some phones where you touch and it doesn't even show you have pressed there. So it necessarily doesn't mean that when you press, it has to show on the screen that you have pressed.
That you will press.
I think that is another level.
That is another level of security. The other important thing is about updates. Android is currently at version 14. But you'll find an unserious Android user using version 5 at the moment. And for them, they are just saying, the phone works. Yes, it works, but you are using 5 out of 14. Because every new iteration, every new modification, they are putting locks in places that they have discovered these are vulnerable processes. So if you come with your Android 5, in a generation of Android 14, your entire phone is just there available, walking around without any defense. So it is something that anyone can just walk in and manipulate and walk out, because the tools are becoming more advanced, and as they become more advanced, the manufacturers also try to improve the security.
And, one of the things I've seen in people, some of the reasons that's why they don't update as and when is whenever they try to update, the phone is bogged down. Because the later versions come with updates, and it drains the memory of the phone. So they are like, I think I am better off having, an earlier version than having a latest version. And
the issue is protection. So we are saying Android version 5, your worker side, it just has an arrow. Version 14 is using a machine gun. We are facing thieves that are having machine gun. So what will you come with? Are you going to come with an arrow to face a thief with a machine gun? No. You just have to accept, yes, the phone could slow down, but in that case, you simply go and buy another one. Because the responsibility of protecting yourself remains paramount. Otherwise, you'll come with your version 5, and anyone, even the learning hacker, is able to just walk into that unsecured version 5. Because in those days, people were not really thinking a lot about security. Nowadays, even these phones are, most of the manufacturers are providing the same services as we have for the iPhones, where you are able to track where the device is, to lock, to remote wipe. These services are now available on Samsung phones, the Mi phones, Redmi, and the others. You find that those ones are now services that we find would be primarily only on iPhones. But now these other manufacturers have seen that the technology is there and it's not very complicated. Simply identify the device and provide a cloud account where someone can access it. So at least, even if a person steals the phone, they are not able to just do anything they want with the phone. The phone is lockable and it's not very easy for it to be manipulated. The other area that needs concern in order for you to be safe online is the issue of public Wi-Fi. Now, we tend to love free things. Uganda is a free thing society. People really love free things. So you'll find a Wi-Fi, it is there, it is not locked. So for you, you come and say, hey, you mean there's a free Wi-Fi here? So you connect. Only to see the thing as internet. You even call friends. Internet, but this person is putting that Wi-Fi there in order to access your devices. Because whenever you connect onto that Wi-Fi, you are essentially on the same network as the one who established it. And like we said, with the issue of computer networks, the person will see your phone or your computer as if it is just with him. So they will now have the room to be able to manipulate. And remember, as time goes by, people are thinking of very complicated tools. You've heard the Al Jazeera hacking saga where journalists of Al Jazeera were hacked by some very advanced spyware software produced by some defense manufacturer in Israel. It is called...
is it Pegasus?
Pegasus. Now, that Pegasus thing is like the worst case scenario. For it, you don't need to do anything to get hacked. All that is needed is the one that is sending you that Pegasus infiltrator, sending you a message. For as long as the message reaches your phone, whether you've read or not, entire phone is compromised. And for them, they are beyond, they crack both the Android and the iPhones. So even if you have iPhone and you are threatening around that you are secure, Pegasus, you are unsafe. But the good thing, Pegasus is a government-grade software. So it is not available among the day-to-day people. So that is the only thing that keeps us not very worried. So meaning any government that needs to establish what you are doing and why you are doing it will use such an advanced tool. But like we are saying, if that is there, people keep thinking of how to do things in new ways. Don't connect to a free, totally unsecured Wi-Fi, especially in a public slot. You walk into a shopping center like these arcades here and you find Wi-Fi. Why are you connecting to that Wi-Fi? Really, can't you buy your own that 2,000 shillings you can get 2 giga, 1 giga, 3 days on Airtel, or 300 MBs on MTN. You can really buy your own data. The risk you are taking by connecting to some free Wi-Fi is something that is not very good. Then the other thing, you talked of it a bit for email, but we are saying most of the services do have 2-factor authentication, meaning, yes, there is username, password, but there is also another next layer, which is receive a code via SMS or receive a code via email. So whenever you find any service, even on Facebook, it's there. Of course, WhatsApp has its own different security mechanism that ensures that by the time you reach the account, you have already proved that you are the one via SMS. So for it does not do a lot of later authentication. But whenever you have an account on a platform or any system that allows for setting additional layers, please use those additional layers. So if you have a Facebook account, instead of just leaving it naked and only waiting for username, password, allow for 2-factor. So that even if the person learns your password, they are still blocked by the next level of having to pick your phone or to pick your email. And if the email also has 2-factor, in that case, you have put a very good perimeter around yourself and no one is going to just come and disturb you without any justification. Now, the other issue is about, because when we are talking of security or protection, we also talk about availability. You may not be hacked, but you can lose your information. For example, the phone has essentially locked itself. So you are now forced to format the phone. Now you had your things there, and now they simply have to go because you have to format. So to guarantee availability, we need to back up. Whenever you open a Gmail account, they give you some, how many giga of
15.
free? So they give 15. So they give you some 15 giga of free space. So your important documents, etc., please push them to that Google Drive, so that even if the phone has any major problem, you don't lose very critical information. For us who are in the technology sector, you can, your entire life can go upside down just because of the loss. For example, you have built a mobile app for people and the code has gone. And people call you, hello, can you change this button this side? And what they are saying appears small, but now you no longer have the original code, so it becomes a very big problem. So backup as a guarantee of availability is also something very important. We are saying these things, remember, we are attaching them to our Islamic system by saying Islam has what we call maqasid sharia. Protection is everywhere. Protection of life, protection of property, protection of deen. All those things that we are talking about will either protect your property or they can even protect your life. Now, there are people who simply overpost about their lives. He's at a restaurant, he posts. He has now moved into a taxi, he posts. Now, you are providing a lot of updates to anyone that would want to injure you in any way. So protect yourself. There's no one you are posting for that wants to know every other detail about you. Yes, people may like, but for you, if you know how we like things, do you really focus a lot before you like? Sometimes you like based on who has posted. If Ayub posts something, I don't even read. I just like. So those likes you are seeing, they are not necessarily that people are approving a lot of what you are doing. So don't overexpose yourself merely because you are trying to solicit likes. The position information you are giving can very easily become a threat to your life, and it's not good.
To share some sort of I've read about to do with the likes and how they are deceptive. I've read somewhere about a story. There is a girl, I think a TikToker, was having thousands of followers, and whenever she posts and so many likes, then she wanted to organize a show, kind of a show up for at least for her fans and everything, and it was for is it paying or something? None appeared.
Not even one
Not
person.
even one appeared. And when she was having so many thousands of, so they are really deceptive, and we are in that world where people are falling in for likes and thumbs, and that's why even we are having so many misleading information on Facebook, because Facebook, Twitter, wherever, all of those social media platforms, somebody, because he thinks this one will attract likes, just post there without knowing the authenticity, whatever.
So that is something very important. We are saying don't overpost. You can actually avoid posting real-time content. For example, you are at a wedding today. You post the wedding tomorrow. There is no law that says that it has to be real-time. So that even if you have posted that event, it is not providing any useful positional information because you were there yesterday, so it can't be a threat today.
People have been, taken by, I think it was CNN that was be the first to know. Then there is be the first to break the news. So I think
in that case you are
fascinated with this.
In that case, you are reporting about an event that is outside. For example, you've seen an accident and you are reporting about it. That one is not personal information. That one is public information. You can post in real time. But this reporting about yourself, I'm here, I'm there, now I'm eating this, now you're even building a profile of yourself. They keep seeing you with the KFC logos at the back. So they will know this person is a KFC zealot. They can even send you some KFC package that has tampered material just because they see that you have a certain behavior profile that they have established. So don't endanger yourself by unnecessarily posting. The other issue about online presence is that nowadays, because of digital channels, we do have a lot of financial management platforms that we access online. So you have your mobile money account, which is now available online via the apps, or you have your bank account. It's also available via some kind of app and etc. So this information now becomes a challenge to you, because anyone that is able to prove that they are you via a password, of course they tend to have OTP controls, because those ones are minimum features for banks and other things. But for mobile money, I think sometimes we don't require OTP, especially if you are using the phone just for USSD. But in case you are using the app, they tend to at least require you to provide. Now, one important thing, similarly, don't reveal any information that can give a hint about what your pins are or etc. And remember, the challenge with the phones is that they don't hide the password immediately. I don't know why they created them like that. Maybe they want the person to see what they are typing. Unlike computers where the password is hidden from the word go, you can't see what the person is. With the phones, when you enter the number, it appears for some millisecond before it is encrypted. So a person that has some way of looking at you will be able to see those numbers, although they are hidden later. So meaning you can easily fall vulnerable unless you are protected by the second layer of OTP. So in that case, therefore, monitor activity. There are people that have accounts in banks, but even a basic checking of what is going on with my account, they do not. They simply discover later, and people have even taken money, and it was last month. Even the bank is now stuck. They have now to look at footage of a very long time ago, just because the reporting has been done very late. So monitor your credit information. Monitor transactions that are going onto your account very oftenly, because you are keeping these tools, and these tools are available to others. You need to be sure that you can be able to.
That, generally, people we are over being lazy. Many banks now, I think all banks right now have an SMS enabled kind of platform where whenever a transaction is made on your account, they give you
a notification. Exactly.
So at times people, I think they were over lazy that we don't enable that from the bank.
Because the bank does not give by default.
And
you have to enable.
The other thing is that sometimes even we get SMS and we don't even find out what kind of SMS has come. So somebody receives an SMS after 2 days. So
and it was reporting money that has been taken, but for you are not interested because you see a lot of promotional SMS. These SMSs are delivering information. Read the messages, and you should be able to protect yourself. So those are very important issues one should keep in mind. The other thing that they are warning here, especially for us that are using financial systems, don't ever use that app of yours, either Airtel Money, MTN, or even the bank app, on any Wi-Fi network for as long as it is public. Even if it appears to be secured, you simply don't do that, because that data travels across that network. So people with the very advanced sniffing tools can be able to easily see what you are doing. So you only do that in your privacy, either at home on your own Wi-Fi or whatever device you use for creating internet, but avoid doing it online. Then, avoiding scams, because the scams are another area where a person has not hacked you, but has fooled you into thinking that this is something good. Now, the first of these scams are the online dating scams. Now, here in Uganda, I think because our social environment is a bit still functional, people still look for partners in the physical space. But in many countries, and also here Uganda, because there are some that work in sectors where you go to work at 6 and walk away at 9 a.m. So essentially you have no very simple social life. So you look for people online. Now, there are scammers there that create profiles that are very attractive. Puts the picture of a lady, puts there some generic name, then begins to attract traffic. So this person, some of them even use chatbots. Person sends a message, you answer back. The message coming back again is similar to the one that was there. So they create these just to solicit information. So online dating apps, those ones are very dangerous areas because there is very little regulation. The mainstream social media apps like Facebook and all the others do have at least some regulation because of their sizes, and governments are directly interested in them. So at least for them, it's not very simple for people to maintain scamming accounts there. But you don't go to some general site, dating Uganda, etc. You begin going there in the name of looking for people there. The chances that you will be scammed there and the person may either social engineer you into providing either location information or anything that can give them a chance to harm you, you'll find that they can be able to do that. So avoid enlisting onto these dating sites that are not regulated. At least you stay on your social media, the mainstream. If you are trying to find partners, you look for them through the normal channels like Facebook and Twitter or LinkedIn or many of the others that you should be able to access. Then the other area where you could get scammed is email. People send mails, you see, I am Muhammad Ayubu, I come from Ghana. My father used to be the Minister of Transport during the period of Jerry Rawlings, but now, as you remember, they were chased away very fast, and now he left a lot of money on his account. The account is in Switzerland, but now there is no way I can go up there to collect that money. But if you can help me, I send that money to your account, but please don't steal my money. So he pretends to be very innocent, and you are the one posing. You are the one posing the threat. So he tells you, now I need to send you that money. So if you're one of these Ugandans obsessed with the free things, you will say, but what's the problem? Let him send. So he asks, what is your account number? So you are beginning to give away information, thinking you are going to get out of it. You are endangering yourself. It tells you, okay, account number, which bank it is. Because some of this information appears innocent, because for you think the person has to go into the bank and do it, etc. But many times for authentication purposes, this is the basic information that they ask. So the person may, because if you make a call, for example, to a bank customer support service, usually they ask you those kinds of questions. They ask you your account number, date of birth, etc. And this may be the very information you are giving to this scammer. The scammer wants to reset your password. And I think that is what happened with the recent bank fraud case. They reset the password of the individual, and they were able to steal the money off the account after that reset. Because when there's a reset, in that case, a message has to be sent out. And for as long as the individual can access that message, then you are in a problem. So the person will now social engineer you into thinking you're about to earn some good money. Then you provide confidential information. And they may not want to ambush you all at once. Today he asks for the account number. Tomorrow he asks for the date of birth. The other day he asks for some other information until you slowly by slowly give in. He may even go ahead and allow one very interesting case. My mother is fairly a senior. She's like 60 years plus. She was approached by some individual. They started chatting. It was a Facebook thing. So the individual maybe they chatted until the individual said, now you are my friend, I think I should send you some gifts. Then he attached some photos of golden necklaces, whatever, sent to her. Please, that package is coming, someone will call you. So the good thing, she thought of informing us about, and the individual even called. Hello, I'm calling from customs. There is a package here for you, but it needs to be cleared. There are some expensive things I'm seeing here, but you'll need to send at least 200,000. Now, because I think she didn't have the money, she said, now, ibintu bibyo omusajja yampeereza ebintu byetaaga clearance. So I looked at the phone number that is calling her. It's not a government number, because the government numbers tend to be on particular networks. So I did a search of the name of the owner, because you can easily establish that by trying to send the mobile money. So I find the voice on the other side is masculine, the owner is feminine. And I was saying that even if this person could be genuine, by virtue of the fact that they can't even use their own phone number. So I called them, I told them, wait, how can you be using a woman's phone? So the man realized I had discovered this scam, and he simply abused me and went offline. But as you can see, such a person, even in case my mother had her money around and didn't need any support, she should have just sent, because the pictures were appearing as if there's a lot of incoming, because the person will say they have sent you maybe a golden ring and etc. When you calculate, you think that is like 10M. They are just asking for 200,000. That's a simple thing. Let me give the 200, I will get the other 10M. All these are scams that can very easily.
There are so many. I've got those so many.
Exactly. And
but
because
every time they contact me, I tell you, call this person, I give that person my number, let him or let her call me. This person will contact you, okay, let him contact him when he gets where he wants me. And you know, you keep on, and somebody will just know, this person we are trying, I cannot.
But because they do like broadcast, out of 100 people, they will at least bang some 10 or 20. Because even if the 80 have discovered, there will be some serious 20 who have their money there. They have been told to get this package being cleared by the revenue authority, you need some 200. You send.
After I'm going to get.
Yeah, I'm going to, because they have sent you even the photos. And they can be appearing to be genuine. They even have airway bills, and it is, you really feel this is a genuine package. Kumbe, it is not a package that is genuine.
Well, I think we are exhausting our time. We're about to wind up. I think you can.
Okay, so those and many others could be a protection mechanism that we should be able to use in order to keep ourselves safe online. Like we have said, anyone with a smartphone, you are online. So once you are using that smartphone, just to know that you are as exposed as any other person that is connected to that network. So ensure that you do the minimum that you need to do. Otherwise, if you ignore your own safety, then it becomes a liability on you. And like we have said, the essence of the Sharia is the protection of life, protection of property, protection of deen. Now in the area of protection of deen, possibly we didn't talk of websites that provide really very erroneous information about Islam. So for a Muslim, you may go online, you are searching for tips about some elements of the Sharia, and you find a website, appears to be a Muslim site, and kumbe it is just a misleading website. So that could be something that could endanger your deen. So in that case, whenever you land on any website, have someone to verify. A physical person, maybe you have your sheikh, simply send him the link and ask him to go through and recommend. So you don't just sit in your corner and say, now this is going to be my learning area. There are so many erroneous websites. You'll find a website, some have even got names that could give you a warning, Answering Islam. You'll find a website, answeringislam.com. So that site will give you a lot of things saying, now this Islam is just some useless deen. It has a lot of contradictions, so they begin to tell you contradictions within the Quran. So if you land on those kinds of sites, they could endanger your deen as an individual, and you need to be careful. Now,
yeah, on that very note that you ended, I think we what we should be advised is that whenever you have any online content that you have read, you need to double confirm with your share.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it is, internet is a world where everybody will post anything.
Exactly. There is no central
there
control.
There is no authentication. There is no word. So you can have a lot of misleading information, but at the same time you can have true information. So it is imperative that whenever you have an online source where you have picked any information, it is important that you double confirm with a qualified share, qualified person, at least to double confirm the information that you have picked from the website. It is really true. Otherwise, it can throw you into hot soup. With that, I think we shall be having to end our program, but just in a minute, there is something we need to talk about, the VPN. Yes, as people who are operating online, how does VPN really secure us in terms of operating online?
Okay, now VPN is essentially a way of connecting to the internet, but via another service. Now, like for example, I am trying to connect to Facebook, but I don't want to connect to Facebook directly. So I can go through a VPN service provider. For example, Ayub has his virtual private network. So in case I'm going to connect anywhere in the world, I begin by connecting to Ayub. Then Ayub encrypts my data so that once I connect from Ayub to the other destination, the destination is not able to realize that I'm the one that is connecting. That's how people are able to bypass the government restriction on some of these social media sites. Now, that one is a good service because it encrypts your traffic and protects you in a way. But the challenge is this free VPN which you are using, you don't know the owner, because remember, the owner is the one that encrypts your traffic. So the traffic from you to the owner is not really protected. So the person can fool you with the VPN service and say, VPN is there if you want to connect to any other site freely and in a protected way. In actual sense, what he wants is you connecting to him, then you now become vulnerable and it becomes a problem. So those VPN tools you are using, please ensure that they come from good companies that are very clear. Mozilla and some of the other public companies that have VPNs, those ones you can use. But how there is some free tool you are seeing around, yes, it could be doing the VPN service, but at the same time it is hacking you in a way. Now,
thank you so much for that. I think with that we shall have to end our program at this moment. We will be picking up from there next time, inshallah. Until then, when we meet next Monday, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Eno ye Salam TV adhan ngekutusibwako
Hotel Africana. Come as a guest and leave as a friend.